So good evening everybody and welcome back to FTRL. We are very much at the business end of season 22. This is the penultimate round of the season beginning tonight on Wednesday with GT3. And after last week it is the only Drivers' Championship left up for grabs. We saw GT2 title claimed last week by Fever after a dramatic final lap at Deep Forest, where he came through to snatch victory from his two nearest title rivals, Homer and Lennon, with the reigning GT3 champion Jadon actually sneaking through to take P2 on the last lap after a collision in dramatic circumstances. And in GT1, Witchell wrapped up the title after finishing P2 in the very wet conditions at Fuji. And the boys have got a lot of work to do to top last week's action then, but we'll get qualifying underway. And then we'll discuss last week's action. Good evening, Unsafe. Good evening, Harrison. Good evening, Derek. Good evening, Brett. Good evening, all. Welcome. Interlagos is a circuit that probably everybody around the world watching FTRL knows about. Of course, home of the Brazilian F1 Grand Prix, and the scene of many dramatic races over the years. Is that going to carry over tonight? We shall see. Now, interestingly, in the pit lane there, Harrison, aka Zeus, is on the hard tyre. Good evening, Dusty in the chat. Good evening, Joker. Just in the race. Joker in the chat. Guys making their way out on the track, and it is Odon's the first one out. So last week then we were at Big Willow American round, and it was a double up victory for the championship leader Brett Leatham, who struck back after having seen his points lead diminished previously by Arsenal Joe. Jordan unable to stop Brett, taking a double victory including that reverse race. He came through, but Jordan chasing him home in both races, so the lead is just 7 points between first and second between those two then. So this could very much go down to the final week of the championship. And there were the title tonight, I believe so. Let's have a look. The overall standing show. Odon, as he climbs up the hill, he'll take us on a lap of the circuit. Pits on next to the wall on the medium tyre, so it's fine. So as it stands there, Brett is leading the way on 202 points, with Arthur Joe behind him on 195. And that little sound means that I've been joined in the commentary booth by a ode to Top Gear, which unfortunately has diminished. Some say that if you stick your dinner in him at 200 degrees, he will give you back a warm, delicious meal, and that he is the reigning and defending undisputed champion GT3 in the FTRL world. It is all that we know him as the Preheated Oven.
Hello. Apologies, the dogs were walking. I weren't walking them, they were walking me. I got lost. There was an old grandmother who had to be saved by a giraffe. The giraffe said my mum was gay, so I had to smack her with a baton. And then I did the relay race with Mike Tyson and Len Goodman.
Well, just a standard day in the Preheated Oven's world there.
Exactly. How are you, Lee?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yes.
After all that,
mighty fine.
Mighty fine then. Well, here we are then. It's the penultimate break of the season. Already, it's gone. Flash by. And we are closing in on our title decider. Of course, this is the only championship left up for grabs after last week. They'll do well to top last week because there was plenty of drama last week. Double win, of course, for Brett, double P2 for Jordan to keep that championship close. And then we had a podium apiece for Alex Pixie and Nobby Norris. It was good to see them getting onto the top 3 steps
Absolutely.
He's book chapter 2 there, apparently.
I'm telling you, GT3 this season has been really, really interesting to watch, just based on how close it's been. I think there's been fights all over the grid, and some of the drivers you wouldn't expect to be up there have made huge improvements as well.
Certainly have to. The man I'm on board with, Odon being one of them, although we have to take an interesting line around turn 3 there on the curb. So he's now heading down the back straight. Now, he had a lot of pace last week and didn't transition into a strong result, though, that he probably deserved. Get down to turn 4. Speed braking, so they're good. Overtaking opportunity. The curb on exit, then start climbing through this fast turn 5 left-hander up the hill, then towards this double long right-hander. This is one of those tyre killers. Now just being gentle, waiting for the car to get around the corner. And short burst then into this slow turn 8 right-hander. And quick flip-flop into the turn 9 left. Again, wait for the car to get around the corner, or straightening up and getting on the power. A short burst up to turn 10. Again, another slow first gear right-hander. Starts to plunge down the hill then. Move along the left. Bit of a lift there. Just let the car get settled. Then braking forward this bottom corner. Turn 12. And now we start to climb up the hill then. This is where the slipstream will be key up the hill. And looking for moves into turn 1. Swoops through the left-hander into the start-finish straight. First time on the soft tyres going on the board, and it is a 33.3 there from Odon, so a solid opening banker for him. Behind him is going to improve. The Zombie goes just behind him. The Zombie, a stalwart of the F1 legacy at FTRL, so he knows the circuit quite well. Zeus now goes to the top.
There's some good laps flying about. Wow, Goose with a 32.4.
Yes, we said. Popping himself.
I don't know if you caught it, Lee, but Azus is starting on the hard compound tyre.
I did see that, yes, interestingly. He's the only one who's not on the mediums there, so he's going for something a little bit different. Jordan now goes to the point. 31.8 there, that's a very impressive lap there from him. Where is his title rival, Bradley? Currently on a 38.0, so he's had a moment on his last lap. How can he respond then?
Interestingly, Lee, I'm having a look at the standings here, and I'm third place. He's crept up sort of without really being noticed. It's overdone.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I think the big thing for him is he's been here every week. I know some of the drivers have missed races, but yeah, he's been quietly going about his business, getting quicker and quicker. He had a good week at Nürburgring. Of course, had great pace last week. Didn't quite transpire into the results he probably deserved. But again, banked good points as he did the week before in Lago Maggiore. Race 2.
Yes.
Also a good week at Sardinia as well. So, yeah,
he's just got third fastest there.
Just creeping up the order.
So the man who's currently behind is Sagoose, who's behind in 4th, and him and Alex Pixie are 4th and 5th in the championship standings. Now, if you'd have looked up race 1, especially with Alex Pixie, you would have thought, whoa, he's I can obviously hasn't done much practice, and that's no offence to Alex Pixie, but you've watched the races since, and the improvement that he has made, as well with Odon and Sagoose, it's just been brilliant. And Jordan's just gone faster with
quicker
31.7. There's been some upsets though, hasn't there?
Has indeed. Yeah. I think Jordan sort of come into the battle quietly. Like Bradley obviously broke out with a victory in race 1 of the season. Jordan took a little bit while to get going to show his actual pace, but now he's flying, and he's kind of been the man to beat over the last few weeks. But Brad managed to strike back last week, but only took 2 points out of Jordan, because Jordan of course got fastest lap.
Yes.
In one of the races, so minimised the losses there. So it's 7 points between them.
So poor performance here from Brett really could cost him.
Yeah, in a minute, he's not hooked a lap up. He is currently 10 out of 10.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see what Arsenal can produce today. Speaking to him, he's quietly confident about this track. I think, same as Face Potter, and I think a lot of them are. It's an F1 track. People know the layout as it is. Zombie with a great lap there.
There goes P2.
it being an F1 track, I think people know the layout, so people feel naturally more comfortable around here.
That's the line. Here we go. P4 he goes. So he's now putting himself in the mixer. Half a second away from Jordan's time at the moment. Now, Zombie, somebody who's been quick all season. Again, another one who had solid pace last week in race 1. He was chasing down Alex Pixie, just wasn't able to close him down in time in race 1 for a little P4. And then struggled a little bit on the medium tyres in race 2, but still banked good points. Of course, a couple of race wins to his name this season. But has prioritised the tune in Europe over a couple of races, so maybe not representative of where he should be in the standings. Currently P2. Again, nearly half a second off Jordan's time, so Jordan's time is looking very, very handy. In fact, he's gone quicker again. Now done a 31.6.
Interesting. I think, strategy-wise, are we looking at a two-stop here?
I think the two-stop would be the sensible one. Obviously, the endurance race tyre wear is quite high, so 5 times on the tyres, 3 on the fuel. So I would imagine medium, soft will probably be the quickest way to go. I was trying to give some pointers to Zombie earlier without actually doing any running, so I was kind of guesstimating strategy for him to aim at. So we shall see what pulls off. But of course, everybody's starting on the mediums. They're going to be doing something similar, apart from Jesus, of course, who is going to be on the hards at the beginning. So
yeah,
see what he's got up his sleeve.
Yeah, they asked me a question in the week, saying, in my opinion, do they? Oh, he's gone pole as well. Wow, what a lap from Bread. 31.5. Sorry, yeah, as I was saying there, Zeus had asked me my professional opinion. Obviously, me and professional aren't really normally in the same bracket or in sentence. I said I hate them, I avoid them like the plague. But they've done well. It can work.
I mean, I suppose if he can... it depends what he wants to do, really. I mean, if he can use them and save yourself a pit stop, then the time you get back from that is substantial, because a pit stop is probably going to cost you on average 25-30 seconds depending on the circuit. Even for just a short splash of fuel and tyres. Obviously you've got your time in and out as well, so it's whether he's going to lose too much time being on the hard while other people are on the mediums, because obviously they'll be quicker. And he will be losing time, so he needs to kind of run his own race, not get caught up in too many battles, but we shall see. I think there's quite a big disparity sometimes in the pace across the drivers, so it might work out for him. He might get a strong result, but
yeah, I think realistically you need a clean race, like you say, with no contact, no fighting, which Zeus hasn't really been able to avoid at the best part this season. I mean, Monza race 1 was the funniest of him T-burning, rear-ending his teammate into T1. And I think it was a consistent 3 races, wasn't it, where the tank-wise fast boys made contact with each other.
And they're pushing hard at turn 4, caught on the outside lip of the curb, and that's spat him into the wall, so that ruined the lap there, because he was about a quarter of a second up on his current best time. So we'll have to go again. Leading Sean. Yeah, it's Pagani there. You end up losing 2 seconds a lap compared to the medium tyre, but the ones don't be the same time, so it's that offset really. It's less time in the pits, but less losing time on the track. It's a tough one to work out. But he's a brave man. There you go. Fair play. Try something different. It's the final endurance race of the season, so
yeah,
why not?
Well, Zeus is in the middle of the pack, isn't he? And unfortunately, he had 2 weeks where he's disconnected due to PSN being a bit of a penis, to put it politely, which has unfortunately solidified the battle between himself and Odon, so he will be owing Odon some money in their little rivalry, but has showed some decent pace considering it's his first season in league racing. The poor guy works very, very long shifts, and will start very early on and finish very late. Doesn't have the most time to practice, but he's still really committed, and he's turned up every race regardless if he's practiced a lot or not. He's given it his all, and that's what you love, I think.
Absolutely. Well, in the battle for pole position, Jordan has just gone just under a tenth quicker in sector 1, and he's only 0.022 behind, so he's a personal best through sector 1, even if it wasn't the absolute best. Oh, big slide there though. He's trying to get the power down. He's pushing. Has that cost him? No, he's purple by nearly a tenth and a half. Right out to the edge of the circuit as he climbs up the hill then. Now it's just foot to the floor. Try and scrub off as little speed as you can do through the last couple of corners. See they're hugging the pit wall, taking the shortest possible route. Here we go, back to the point he goes.
Wow. Just lost a bit of time on the exit there up there.
Yep.
I was thinking with the short shift for traction, but he's got one more chance here.
Fossil meanwhile has put himself into P3.
I did hear a purple ding when I selected onto Bread there in sector 1, but he's got his teammate just in front of him.
He's got a penalty, so you think he'll get out of his way once he gets close enough.
So we'd hope.
Cruise to P6. Indeed, it is, Derek. Another great battle. These two were duking it out last week as well, with Odon as well. In a minute though, it's just again down to these two. Championship first and second. And Brad coming up to the second checkpoint. How is he doing? He's down by a tenth and a half, and this could be his final lap.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to improve here. 2 points for fastest lap. 1. He's going to use his slipstream. His teammate slipstream though. This could pull back sometime.
Is it going to be enough though? The answer is no. He pulled back a little time, but not enough to challenge it. So it looks like Jordan has struck first blood.
2 points for pole, is it?
Again, I believe so, yes.
So that gap's already down to 5.
So Jordan doesn't improve, but looks like he's done enough.
Wow.
He's still on the lap.
So Jordan's made easier work for it in the race for Bread to make a mistake. He's giving himself a real good fighting chance here. Matman's going to cross the line.
He is 8 tenths down at sector 2. This I don't think this is going to be an improvement for him.
Unless he's pulled out an absolute worldie.
Unless he's had the final sector of his life.
No, he has not.
He actually pulled back a little bit of time on his personal best. He was 8 tenths down at the second checkpoint, only 7 at the flag. And that then is your lot then. So, first blood of the evening goes to Jordan. He will then be leading us off of pole position then. Right, so while we wait for this to tick down then, you got a rather fortuitous P2 last week, would you say? And that's a rather dramatic race at Deep Forest.
Yes.
But we're there to pick up the pieces, and that's the important thing.
It was, and this is what I always was told. Starting in F1 League with you guys was you never ever give up, because it's always down to the last race and people come under pressure, people going for stupid mistakes. I've done it on the last lap, if you remember, at Monza in
part of F1
against
folklore.
Yeah, folklore. I lost the championship on the last corner trying to go for a move when the driver in first already had a 3-second penalty, so that was just always fun. But yeah, I think you need to be patient and you need to be consistent. I think not even being the fastest driver, I think in GT2 there are some tracks where I'm quite quick, some tracks where there are drivers that have just better strategy. Phoebe has done a fantastic job all season, and he's going to do really well if he goes up. So yeah, to come anywhere near him and give him some good races, for me is still quite an achievement. So yeah, I think you just stay in the race, stay within touching distance, and you can always hope for a mistake. And you know, we are all human. These mistakes do happen, and I was lucky to get a P2.
Indeed, and so there is the qualifying results then, and Jordan is on pole by just over half a tenth from Bradley. Those two the class of the field, and we've got Dusty Fossil and Zombie on row 2, separated by just 1/100th of a second between those two as well. So Goosen, solid job from him, backing up his teammate in P5. And we've got Matman, Alex Pixie, and Odon all covered by 7,000ths of a second. So that's how close they are. 6th, 7th, and 8th. 0.967, 0.971, and 0.974 between those three. So those three looking super close. Face Potter is P9 with Jesus behind him in P10. Of course, on those hard tyres, not necessarily the worst thing in the world for him. He can then just let those guys do their thing, and he can focus on his race from P10. Without further ado then, let's get this race on the way.
So Zeus is starting at the back here, just behind the two Team Dynaco boys. He's on the hard compound tyre. He potentially could stay out of a lot of trouble being there, and it could actually benefit him.
Indeed. Good indeed. Well, we've got 32 laps ahead of us. It is the final endurance race of the season. And this is really a question, unsafe. Yes, he can wrap up the championship tonight, but it would depend on, I think, a disconnect more than anything, because we've got sprint week next week. Here we go then. We've got 5 red lights, and penultimate round of the championship is go. That's a good start from everybody. They've all made fairly equal getaways, and Jordan's probably going to lead into turn 1 as Bred's going to go for a move down the inside. He looks. So Goose looking trying the middle of Zombie and Dusty Fossil, but backs out of it. And everybody then around the first couple of corners, okay. So Jordan leads Bred though into the slipstream immediately as they head down towards turn 4. Jordan's gone defensive, then Bred's going to have to go the Alonso route around the outside, but Jordan's going to brake later and stays ahead there. Dusty Fossil going a little bit wide background. Oh, was that going very wide? That's Sir Goose. And Odon's wide as well. Alex Pixie getting through up to P6. Oh, and Jesus has had an off somewhere at turn 4.
Oh, that's not what he wanted. That's not the start he wanted. He spent all qualifying telling about how he doesn't need to make a mistake. He needs to stay out of trouble. And he's already had a little error.
Neither of those things.
No, he has not.
Well, he's done it for 3 corners at least. Well, they're on board with Dusty Fossil then in P3, looking at the battle between Bredley and Jordan. You've got Zombie and Sir Goose in his mirrors.
Odon's going to place. I think he's going to gain another as well. As Sir Goose has picked up a 0.5 second penalty.
Indeed, then to the penalty line, of course, is up the hill here, so that will hurt them. And who's that going wide? That's Dusty Fossil wide. Zombie, like a rat up a drain pipe, is down the inside and up to 3rd.
Slim Shady once said around the outside. Zombie chose opposite.
Drop back behind Face Potter. Try to come back at him as they head down towards turn 1. Down the inside he goes. Face Potter sees him coming.
Has taken the lead. Jordan fights back round the inside. Oh, wow. This is going to be a very, very interesting battle between these two. Neither of them wanting to give it up.
Yeah, clean air around here is king. Tight and twisty circuit. And Zombie and Dusty Fossil entering the chat as well. Sir Goose has got Alex Pixie down the inside, but he hangs on around the outside. Alex Pixie having a little bit of a wobble there as he tries to get the power down. Sets off in pursuit there, so. And then Odon trying to close in as well. And what's happened to Matman? Matman's dropped away from Face Potter. He's had an off somewhere and he's dropped back towards a Zeus. We've got 4 for the lead. Jordan leads Bred, leads Zombie, leads Dusty Fossil.
Wow, I mean, it's been quite an eventful start to the race in T3, but interesting to say the least.
Yeah, we know obviously these front two have got a lot of pace about them. It's whether or not Zombie and Dusty Fossil can hang with them. Zombie, as I've said, mentioned, has shown good pace this season, especially in those reverse grid races, where he's won 2 while being on the medium tyre. So control the race from the front. How's he going to get on in the endurance then? The front two just starting to edge away a little bit now. Bred then down the inside. Turn 1 pulls out nice and early. Shows the intent, but no, Jordan later on the brakes. Stays in front.
Yeah, it's good defensive drive in there. He knows if he brakes a bit later, he can have the inside into the next corner, outside to the next. And he can get enough to get a car's width ahead. It's very hard to tack into that first corner.
Yeah,
you need to go down the inside and brake later.
Yeah, braking, maybe just showing in the mirror, trying to make a mistake, or force a mistake. Oh, John's wide. There's a mistake. Bred's up the inside and through. So there we go. Didn't need to push that, just showing in the mirrors, trying different lines, trying to put off his rival, and it worked. Jordan went a little bit wide into 4, got over the outside of that curb. And he's dropped back then to 2nd, so Bred leads. Now he's wide though. Jordan coming back on him. Zombies close back in again as well. Meanwhile, Sir Goose has caught up as well, and he's now on the back of Dusty Fossil. Well, Alex Pixie and Odon are side by side. Although Alex Pixie's got a second penalty from somewhere.
Yeah, it's not going to help him. Odon's got past Alex Pixie, but has fell back to Goose. It's still 3 places from Odon. It's a good start.
Up the hill we go then. Brad was a little bit wide out on that curve there. Jordan had a tighter line. He's had a good run. Right in the slipstream. Brad's actually pulling away there, so I don't know if Jordan's done a bit of short shifting there. Trying to save a bit of fuel. Brad there with the fastest lap of the race. And Sir Goose then takes that just behind him. So he's had a storming lap as he gets onto the tail of this gaggle. Yes, that was the Goose pun.
Yeah, it
Zombie
was.
Wide into what? Oh, contact with there. Dusty Fossil up the inside there. Unsettles the Porsche. And they're side by side. Sir Goose is trying to make it 3 wide, is he? He's down the middle. It's 3 wide. Oh, that's not going to work, boys. Oh. Sir Goose now
made
gives
a massive mistake as well.
Zombie the hip and shoulder, and through he goes. That was a bit robust.
I think Jordan's been slightly too respectful, too kind to Brett here. He's just not attacking him with full venom and intent. It's just having Brett that inch. You can give Brett an inch, he'll take a yard.
The first 2 then being respectful, 3 behind, very much not so. As first Dusty Fossil just unsettled Zombie to give himself a run, and then Sir Goose thought, I'll have me a bit of that as well. He made himself the filling in the sandwich, and he came out through ahead of both of them, and giving Zombie a bit of a hip and shoulder wide at 4. Zombie then has fought back and has got back ahead of Dusty Fossil, and all this battling has let Odon close in. Alex Pixie not too far back either.
Yeah, Arsenal's within 3/10 of Brett. Hasn't caught the slipstream toe yet. Brett's obviously had a really good exit there. Should defend Jordan's sector 1 here. Might worth just staying on board. He was really quick through the first couple of corners. Brett had a bit of a wobble last time. Yeah, same again. He's cutting that apex perfectly and on the exit. Getting a great runner yet again. Out of the, I believe it's Cenares's, isn't it?
I believe so, yes. Here we go. John's had a good run this time. Brad's going defensive. Pops to the outside then. Oh, caught the grass. Oh, got away with that then. That could have been really bad for. Oh, he then on the outside of the curb at 4 as well. We've seen him once already. Yeah, that's very easy to do there. He just sort of moved back over to take the racing line, just caught the grass there on the braking zone. That pitched him sideways into the door of his rival, and then that kind of straightened him up. So they both live to fight another day. Now all that battling behind has seen that gap open up. Now they're now 2.8 seconds ahead of Sir Goose, who in turn is 2.5 seconds ahead of Zombie, who is duking it out with Dusty Fossil once again. And Odon also buying into this now.
He's lingering like a bad smell, isn't he? Odon, you have really high amounts of protein. You having a proper gym bro fart, stinking up the place, stinking up the gaff. Not leaving him alone.
There we go. Up the hill again. It's half a second this time. So Jordan at the minute just seems happy to sit in behind. Trying to save a bit of fuel. He's a little bit better on fuel, so that will help him out with the pit stops. As we touched on strategy now, what I sort of suggested to Zombie earlier was if he can get to sort of about lap 13 on these medium tyres and do 2 13-lap stints, I imagine the softs will probably last about 7 or 8. So that was my suggested strategy. Let's see what they do. Tyres looking in fairly good nick at the moment, so lap 13 seems achievable with a full tank of fuel. Jordan has closed back in there with a good run through 4, so we've got that gap down again. Putting the pressure on.
Seems to be very good through sector 1, doesn't he, Jordan? A lot quicker than Brett. And Brett's maybe got the run out of that final sector every time, though. I think very even between the two of them.
Up in the middle sector, so Brett seems to be a little bit better through this twisty bit in the middle.
Again, if you just look though, Jordan just killing off his tyres.
Yeah, it's the pad versus the wheel, isn't it, again? He did an amicable job for us filling in last week for Oblivion. Unfortunately, he was a bit of a victim of tyre wear.
Yeah.
Z4 is not the kindest on its tyres.
Phoebe's in the chat, and Phoebe will tell you that Z4 is a tyre killer destroyer. But you get the power down early enough, and that car is a rocket ship.
Absolutely. Hashtag save the pad from Pagani in the chat. This is your question earlier, Aaron. Yes, absolutely. Joker says no. So Brad then has just managed to get out of slipstream range. I think even Witcher. So this is battle content by Brez now just starting to ask some questions of Jordan. What have you got? So Brad now putting the hammer down. So got the fastest lap of the race last time around, a 32.6. What is Zombie's tyres like? There we go. So he's on 2/3 of the tank. Obviously, Fossils better on fuel and better on tyres. Oh, interesting, they've caught Sagoose again. So Sagoose, who had a 2-second lead, he's made a mistake somewhere, has he? Yeah, 36.6 last time around, so he's had an off somewhere. And that's brought him back into this pack, so we've now got 6 cars now battling for the final step on the podium.
Phase Potter's not too far off this pack either, but I think Pixie and Potter probably the worst for wear of tyres. Dusty Fossil, like you said before, his tyre wear's quite good. Odon and Zombie's probably about the same, I think.
You're working nicely. Lead up to a second now between the front two then, so Brett is just starting to put the hammer down. Meanwhile, it's packed behind then, so Goose having dispatched them, falling back into their clutches.
Has indeed. It's not what they would have wanted, but that's what happens when you fight too much, isn't it? You see this enough when we were racing at was it Fuji? You know, the fighting allowed me to get higher up the grid. Just keeping your nose clean and staying out of the battle sometimes just allows you to be drawn in, and you know. And he's lost 7/10 in compliment in his first sector all race, and that first sector must have gone horribly wrong there, Lee.
Starting to struggle a little bit this time. And that's just a question which, yes, there is. It's between these two. 7 points separate them. So Brett leading the way, but Jordan's taken pole, so he's clawed a couple of points back.
Yes, I believe if we're working it out as it stands, I suppose the points are different for insurance, but without the finishing, it would be
it's 35 a second. So
yeah,
so it would extend by 5, so it would be but 10 if it stays as it is now.
Yes.
It's developing quite nicely for P3. A little bit of a gap between Odon and Dusty Fossil. So Goose is trying to make a break again. But yeah, we've got 6 cars in the hunt there for this final step of the podium. Let's see how much more tyre wear there is on the right hand side. Obviously an anti-clockwise circuit, so more left-handers. But it's a good mix of left and rights, but there's a lot of long left-handers, which really kills those front right tyres. But saying to Zombie, he needs to try and work on trying to save those tyres through these long corners, just to give you something to fight with at the end of the stint, especially in this first stint, of course, we're on a full tank of fuel. Ooh. Some tyre squealing. Alex Pixie there has had a slide, has managed to gather it up. And now I've got Face Potter all over the back of him. Good defensive.
Sorry for slightly eating my microphone. It's very, very, very cold in my house.
Contact there.
Alex Pixie's been poked by Face Potter.
Indeed. So hopefully Face should just roll out of that. Let him go. He does.
Sorry for eating my microphone. I was putting a hoodie on. And I put my arms through. My headset was still on. I was like, oh no. I didn't do. I decided to move my mic without muting it, thinking, I'll get it slightly through without anyone noticing.
Well, I've been watching that battle for P3. Bradley has extended his lead now. He's 2.7 seconds ahead. There's a change back here. What was that? That's Face Potter and Alex Pixie side by side. Face Potter down the inside into turn 10. There he goes. Alex Pixie gives him a bump this time. That's one each. Goes side by side through turn 11. Face Potter is through. All this battling is just dropping them away from that pack. Good evening, Royston. And Matman, who's starting to see some cars appear in the horizon, get a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
Biggles is having a moment over your mental image of you trying to put your jumper on with your headset on.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, mate. It's not my proudest moment. I must admit. Almost like going sideways out of the pit entry on Fuji. It's also not one of my proudest moments.
Easily done. You forget, don't you? When the track dries up, you're thinking like, yeah, it's fine. You come out on slick tyres and you find a big puddle and you pit exit. You're like, oh.
It was my reaction was like, oh no, Melanie.
Oh, no.
Shame, I really likes Melanie. I was just on board with the Zeus just to check on times and see what he's doing. His tyre weight's fine. Obviously, he's not even undone half the fuel of the tank. Tank of fuel. There you go. That's Swiss tonga for you. He's lapped 35s the last 3 laps bar lap 9. Lap 9. His fastest lap is a 1:35.5. Now, if he'd consistently set that, he'd be a bit closer. But the medium tyre runners are on 1:34 in the mid pack. But interestingly, which we haven't picked up, is Matt Van's on the soft tyre.
Is he though? I don't think he's not with that tyre where he's not. I think it's his glitch. Because Joker had it last week as well, where in the first stint he was on the medium tyre, but it showed him as being on the soft, but he wasn't. I think it's still a glitch that appears with some people. And looking at his tyre wear, there's no way he's got that far in this race on the soft tyre with that much wear. So I think that's a glitch. Dusty Fossil in. Interestingly. So first pit stop.
Well, Jordan seems to have eaten his child like a baby eats cardboard when they're bored. He's just gone through them. I mean, if I'm Jordan now, I would have picked a lap earlier than what Brad would do. Maybe come in this lap, see if Brad does another.
Do the undercut.
Gaining some time back.
So, I mean, that would probably put him on a triple medium stint. How about Brad? If he can go for, he can get to, like I say, if he can get to lap 13, do 2 13-lap stints, he can do then 8 laps on the softs at the end, maybe 7,
I don't
depending
think
on
Jordan does have the tyre wear to do the soft stint, do you?
I think he could do one more lap on these to get him to lap 12. So with then less fuel in the car, might get him to 13, maybe even 14 in the next stint, if he can save a bit of tyre. But obviously it's difficult with him chasing. He needs to push, means he does need to work that tyre. Brad now is just romping away. Jordan's time is still good, but he's dipping into 34s, while Brad is solidly in the 33s, still low 33s as well. And that's where that time is just...
I do quite often call Jordan James May, he is Mr. Safe. So I do think he probably will be looking at 3 medium stints.
Is he going to come in this time?
He's
going to go around one more lap. Goose has managed to get clear of Zombie again in that battle for P3. Hold on, still hanging on resolutely as well. Let's pass on to Pixie, still battling, and I think that's Pixie may have just peel off into the pits. He has. That man's in as well. Jesus has got Dusty Fossil for company, so Dusty Fossil's back out on the medium tyre. Now, I feel like it was an early stop if he wants to run the softs at some point, but we shall see.
Unless he is going for a much longer medium stint this time, but he hasn't fueled up too much.
I'd say, like, I wouldn't have really got off those tyres that early. Now, if you look at the laps, I mean, the guys are on lap 12, they're on about just over a quarter of a tank now. Look at the Goose. I mean, Jordan's doing a superb job on his fuel. He's on easily nearly, what's that, just under half a tank there, lap 12. So realistically, he gets probably about lap 20 on the tank of fuel. So fuel is not a problem. But I think he does need to pit this lap because that front right tyre is now looking very, very angry. A lot of red on that now. Should just about have enough tread on it to get around this corner. And a bit of a slide. Yeah, I expect to see him in then, but let's put him in the window at least. Bread's in. Race leader's in. So they are on the same strategy.
Jordan.
Let's look at the fuel then. Bread's on 32, 37, so 5 litres of fuel. I'll save him at least a second or 2 there. So Goose carries on.
Just depends really. What do you think? Is it worth filling the tank up here, or is it worth just top up to
I
into the
think you
medium
should
stop?
overfill for what you need. While on the medium tyre, you can, obviously they can do 13 laps easily. If you look at the guys that pit, only really Jordan's tyres are shot. Everybody else's tyres were okay. Zombies, and he could have gone another lap there. Odon's are fine. Face Potter's tyres are dead. But yeah, I think I put a little bit more fuel in you now, because I look at Brett. Brett's only on half a tank. Brett's on the soft.
He is. Interestingly though, Jordan's filled up his tank.
So Brett's obviously on the soft tyre. He's going to try and go for a helpful lever now.
Jordan's jumped onto the hards. Jordan has jumped onto the hard tyre.
That is a bold call. We've seen his teammate, who has actually gone past him. He's of course not yet stopped, but that's an interesting call. I think on less fuel, I mean, obviously he's going to get a lot of time back at the final stop if he does one more stop, because he won't have to put as much fuel in. But we're seeing very different strategies play out here, and I feel that might be the wrong call.
Yeah, I think when you've got points to play for, I think you do dive in. I think you whether you do the soft stint, then the medium stint. I think if you've got the pace to do the 2-stop, I think you do it.
Segusen, race leader, is in. So the car's currently 1 and 2. Big old pit strategy predictor in the mud, absolutely. Yeah, so they're kind of on the similar strategy to what I expected them to do, although I thought they may go one more lap. I sort of said to Zombie, if you can get 13 laps, if you're spot on, you can just do 13, 13, 8. I think the soft on 8 laps worth of fuel should be fine. Yeah, I'd say they're saying the hards aren't the way for most people. You just lose too much time.
It is unfortunate, because it is a good strategy to pull off, but I just think in this game they are too slow.
Dusty Foster, interestingly, has got quite a big undercut from pitting early. He's now in P2. Well, he's 12 seconds behind Brett. He's ahead of Jesus, and here's Jordan. So Goose is going to get out ahead of Jordan here. So all that extra fuel he's put in is really going to hurt Jordan. Then he's lost track position, and now he's got Alex Pixie and Zombie closing down as well. Now Alex Pixie's put significantly less fuel in. But he has just gone purple in sector 1. So Alex Pixie's on a charge. He's got ahead of Zombie, who's put more fuel in. Matman has put less fuel in, so he's put himself back into it. But of course, that'll pay back to Zombie later on when he has less fuel to put in at his next stop. So different strategies playing out. Yeah, unsafe saying, if there are 3 compounds, I'd always pick the 2 softest. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. I just think in this kind of race, you're going to lose too much time.
Absolutely. Alex Pixie has a habit of flashing people with his headlights.
Yes, it's the age-old pad problem, when somebody pushing just a little bit hard on his R3 and L3.
Pixie is on the mediums though, but this is just showing, isn't it, the drop-off of pace for Arsenal.
Yep.
Because realistically, you can only lose, what, I think it's 32 maybe? 32 seconds.
Lining him up, down the inside, here we go. Into turn 1. It's probably the best overtaking opportunity on the track. Through he goes with consummate ease. Into P5. Jordan trying to fight back. Oh, he's had a bit of a slip off the curb there. Lost a handful of car lengths there. Not sure what happened there. Jordan had a bit of a spin.
I think he's almost
spun his wheels a little bit on the curb. Yeah, but he dropped a couple of car lengths and suddenly Zombie's on him. Zombie's now down the inside. And Zombie's through. Jordan's race going from bad to worse. Unless he's trying to get to a soft tyre, unless he's using the hards to get to a soft tyre stint.
No, I don't think he is. I remember him and Azus talking about it in a party. I gave them the message that I'd probably avoid them. I wouldn't touch them.
And clearly they've taken your advice.
Yes,
and thrown it in the bin.
Well, they're gonna learn themselves. I think oh God. your race, GT1 in America this season.
We're in Atlanta.
No, the one.
Watkins Glen.
That's the one. I went on to the hard tyre to undercut people. I undercut them and then lost 12 seconds in 5 laps and ended up just beating Simon. So blue flag, you can shove that up your arse. But I could have been...
I think he's at the arse tonight. The Arsenal, I think.
Oh, sorry, yes. I'll give people a score update on that, Leave.
I think they're like 4-0 up already. It sounds like they're going absolutely hell for leather. Also, can we all laugh at Man United? Whee! Ball jobs.
They are indeed. It is Havertz, Saka, Jesus, Saka, Martinelli and Odegaard. Man United 3-3, I didn't see that.
They were 3-1 up as well. Jordan wide out 4, and now Mattman's on him. Mattman's got to run up towards turn 6. He's got the inside line. Mattman's going to go through. Here he is. John's race is he's just going backwards now. Dropping like a stone. Mattman's a bit wide. John trying to throw it back up the inside, but he hasn't got the grip to fight back then, so Mattman's through. Up front then. Well, Bradley's lead is now 15 seconds. He is just hammering out lap times now. 31.6. He's nearly back on qualifying pace. And another 31.6. So he's just hammered in 2 fastest laps of the race. Dusty Fossil, meanwhile, is now looking very comfortable in P2. So Goose doing well in P3. And he's got a bit more fuel than Dusty Fossil. So Dusty Fossil on different strategies. And we've got this battle. Jesus doing well, to be fair. Still going in P4. Got a quarter of a tank of fuel. He's now got Alex Pixie, Zombie, Mattman and Jordan behind him. Is Jordan going to the end? He'd do well to get there with a quarter of a tank. Tyre-wise, though, I mean, he probably could do it. They probably could get all the way. They'd be very horrible. I mean, they'd probably be horrible now, but they're even more horrible by the end of the race. But yeah, it's not out of the realms of possibility. But I think he'll need some fuel. So Alex Pixie now going for a move into turn 4. Take P4. Through he goes. Zombie's trying to follow him through. And through he goes as well. So the Tango Ice Fast cars are fastly going backwards. And now we've got this resumption of the battle from race 1 last week then between Zombie and Alex Pixie. That time it was over P3 as Alex Pixie understeers into turn 8. Mattman and Jesus come together. Mattman trying to go the long way around the outside. And he's got it done.
There's...
And Jordan through as well, so he's just let his teammate go.
Well, Zeus is the good marker here, isn't he, really? I mean, he's coming to lap 17.
I just wonder now, is Jordan trying to get to the end?
I do think he is. And I think Zeus is looking at maybe a soft stint at the end. Essentially. Quarter of a tank left. He's obviously heavy fuel saving as well.
Both lead is 17 seconds. Of course, we just said, like, is he going to the end? Well, Jordan is now 34 seconds behind Bread. He was, 5 when they pitted, so that's just the time loss and the pit loss time. I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think he's far enough closer. He needs to be a lot closer.
You'd need the gap to be at 27 realistically, wouldn't you?
And that's just for him to come out together. Obviously, they've got to try and hold him off for the rest of the race, so it's... yeah, which I reckon Bread's got this, and I'm inclined to agree.
Yeah, I think the call from Zeus isn't the most drastic or awful one we've seen. It hasn't helped with his spin into turn 4. He's starting on the hards, obviously, but I think it's a weird one from Arsenal. I just can't see the reasoning behind it.
It's a bold strategy, Con. Let's see if it pays out for them.
If you ever need to listen or find a strategy, just watch Fever's races and how he matches tyres and his fuel.
You can either watch Fever races or you could do the 5,500 miles of practice.
Yes, there is also that. There is also that.
Just trying to do Jordan's put it in auto drive because he said Arsenal 5-0 up at half time. Just watching the game now.
Well, he'll be happy either way, at least.
Absolutely. Well, after watching this battle developing between Zombie and Alex Pixie, I must say I'm impressed with how Alex has developed this season. He's getting quicker and quicker. He's on P4 on merit. A little bit of strategy in there as well. He's got less fuel in than Zombie, so Zombie should jump him in the pits on fuel alone. But yeah. Good week last week in a very tricky circuit, Big Willow. A very tricky circuit.
Yeah.
And,
I think the boys did well. I mean, I was just in that race, but I think the boys did really well there.
There was not too many, expecting a lot of people to be out into the dirt heading towards the scenery, and it didn't really happen. I know Nobby Norris had one big old moment on that one race one, but there wasn't too many big incidents.
No, there wasn't. I think Pagani caused most of them anyway. He just put himself.
Did see Pagani's one. Yeah, Pagani had a big old moment where he got a big reset.
Yeah, that was his own fault, really. So it had nothing to do with me and any of them at all. And he's finding ways to blame me, but of course, I'd blame me too because I'm the obviously reigning GT3 champion. So I'd blame me too. Jealousy's obviously isn't his colour. What we can do is Alex Pixie decides to get the car sideways for the ladies.
Another of our strategy gurus in the channel is Marley. Anybody want the strat help, one stop and go to soft instead of mediums. Of course, Marley, another one who was primed for a really good result last week, and then inexplicably stuck the soft tyres on with a long way to go. A big shame for him. Again, he was on for another great result there. But, you live and learn, boys. You live and learn.
It's a very Marley-esque mistake, that, isn't it? We do love you, Marley, but there is only one person that would do that, and that is you. So do feel bad.
Oh, but I've seen people put the wrong tyres on.
I remember Simon
did last season, didn't he? He put the softs on instead of the mediums all the way around, wasn't it? He'd used them already and had to go back in and.
It looked fantastic for me, didn't it? GT2 coming in, filling in from GT3 and finishing above Simon made me look really, really quick. And really, I was just trying to keep the Subaru on track.
Well, Zombie is now all over the back of Alex Pixie. Then let's head into the infield section again. A battle between these two. Alex has an F1 podium here, I believe.
Yes.
So it's going well. At the minute, he's under big pressure from both the Geordie touring car boys. Mattman's there as well. Having had his moments early on, he's now back into this battle, then. So good to see him sticking with it. He had a solid first race last week, and then a bit of a shocker in race 2, unfortunately.
Yeah, that he did. Interestingly, I don't know if you're seeing this, Lee, but the lines that the GT3 boys take, they almost go half defensive, half not defensive into some of the corners, and it just ruined the run out of the corner and the exit.
Yep.
And that has allowed Zombie. Sorry, just cracking open a cold one with the boys. It's a Diet Coke, guys, don't we? Not on the score night. But yeah, I just think that's where they lose a lot of their time.
There we go then. In turn 1, Zombie to the outside. Pixie holds firm, cuts the nose off. Zombie will try and switch back then for a run down towards turn 4. Mattman trying to buy into this now as well. Pixie then goes defensive again. He's left a bit of a gap on the inside though. If Zombie gets close enough, he's going to the outside again. Brakes early. Zombie trying to go all the way around the outside, and he's done it.
Fernando Zombie. Mattman's going to watch that and think I can replicate it.
Well, Alex's defence like a lion has must have been breached, and Mattman's up the inside as well. Alex fights back. Oh, he's got in hot there though. He's panicked on the brakes, and through goes Mattman. Spooked him. Wide he goes as Bradley's in from the race lead. He has used those soft tyres to devastating effect when he's got nearly a 20-second lead over Dusty Fossil, who's going to be in this time as well. So Goose is also not too far away. He might have another lap to go on those soft tyres though. He's also been banging in low 32s. He's had a really good stint then.
So it does look like that Jordan will get past Brett, but Brett is now on the soft tyres hunting Jordan down. It's all about defence now.
Going to go back into the mediums now, isn't he? He's used his soft tyres.
Yeah, he will.
Is he though? Is he going to go through?
I don't think he will.
He won't. He's going to start finish straight. So he is probably going to get by.
Yes, he will.
Brett's still fueling, so yeah. Oh, no, Brett's on his way now. and Jordan will be ahead of him. So it has actually worked out. So yeah, it's quite a long pit lane here, big pit loss time. But what kind of gap has he got? Let's have a look. Also, he's got significantly less fuel than Bread, interestingly. So Bread's on his way. The gap is 6.5, 7. Oh, Face Potter enters the chat as well. Face Potter getting a Bread, that would help Jordan out.
No, it really would, wouldn't it?
Not quite. Bread's got ahead of him, stayed ahead of him, so he's avoided
Zeus
that.
is pitting though.
Zeus is pitted, so he's getting off of those hard tyres. You can see some softs going on.
No, the medium tyre.
So too far out. Dusty Fossil. I thought Dusty Fossil was in last time around because he was on the red line flashing last time around, but he's gone around for one more lap. So he's in this time.
Interesting to see the confidence in the boys' tyre wear, isn't it? Because Bread's come out on the softs with 10 laps to go. Zeus is pitted for the mediums. 6 seconds in 10 laps, which honestly, he needs I don't think he needs to push too hard. I think he'll gain that. It's already down to 5.5. It's not like you on Tom.
That man's in. Zombie and Alex Pixie carry on. So Zombie now takes the lead of the race.
These boys are going to have to put again, which means Jordan will inherit the race lead.
Bread's on mediums, yes. He's just got off his soft stint.
But all it means is one mistake from Bread.
From Goose. Now where's Bread?
He's ahead of Bread.
He's ahead of him.
Oh, he's going to let him
through. He's not putting fuel in. Oh no, Sir Goose has clicked off the fuel. That's how he's got ahead of him. He's forgotten. He's clicked that. That's easy to do as well. He's gone into the pit lane, and he's clicked do not fuel. And now he's got a half-second penalty as well, so he's have to go back into the pits again. Oh no, it's a Goose. That's going to be an absolute killer because it's a long pit lane here.
Which was a big fan of BBC and ITV, I think, because he has just said that the chase is on. So if anyone wants to tune in, it's ITV. Yeah, I do.
Who's the beast?
I think it's Anne Hegarty. Oh, she's left now, hasn't she?
The Duchess. Still there? No, the governess, isn't she?
The governess. Thanks for the heads up, Witchell. We'll make sure to tune in.
All I can think about now is the one saying Fanny Schmeller. Represents Germany, which sport, and Bradley just absolutely weighing himself. or what's handicap in German? Is it Dick Tingler?
Dick Tingler.
Bradley Wallace's face, where you can see him just trying to hold it in, and you can see him just go, and he says like.
It's the really stupid ones for me that they just get wrong. And
it just looks. It just looks painful when Brad's trying to hold it. His giggles.
Lee, can I ask you, what do cows drink?
What do cows drink? Water.
Oh.
Nice try.
I got asked this today, and I said
Did
milk.
you say milk by any chance?
I panicked. I
said orange juice. Tea.
Tea. PG monkey.
Oh, monkey.
Monkey,
get the kettle on.
Go on, monkey. Or I can think it's Benidorm in my head now. Sorry.
Are you sad that what's her face has died? Sticky Vicky.
Yes. No.
No.
Long live the heritage.
What do you put in the toaster? You put this man in the toaster.
An oven in the toaster.
I'm looking at bread.
No. I was going to say. That's one way to put yourself up.
Trying to cram an oven into a toaster.
Yeah, well, not the game's a game, really. Or a toaster in an oven would make more sense, surely.
That would make more sense, yeah. That'd definitely work.
Yeah.
Or bagels. I put bagels.
Oh, I love a toasted bagel. Guys, please let us know what bagel topping you would use. Or spread. Like cream cheese and salmon kind of guy.
Bread me daddy.
I sound really posh when I say that. I'm from Birmingham. Not posh, but just salmon and cream cheese. Just fantastic.
Right, then Jordan leads the gap though. He's down to 1.5 seconds. Brett is closing in quickly. So to be fair to Jordan, the strategy has not worked out as badly as we thought, but it still looks odds on that Brett's going to win this one.
7 laps to go, 1.2 seconds the gap. That's 7 laps of very, very hard defending from Jordan with very, very worn hard tyres.
So Marley's coming with an interesting one. He puts chocolate on hot bagels.
Well, Nutella spread, I'm not against. Not against. Used to feed the kids that in my old school. Used to have bagels in the morning. Some of them didn't have breakfast. I always buy Nutella, or obviously I'm not that rich, so it'd be Aldi's own. Now here it is, 2/10 the gap.
Wide Porsche incoming. Well, he's going to have to be wide for a while. Oh, there's a big slide immediately, and Bradley's all over him already. Right, Jordan's going to have to hug the inside here. Try and send Brad the long way. And Brad immediately gets down the inside. So that has not worked out. And through he goes. I think Jordan knew that's not his fight. So now what he needs to do is just hold on. So he's got 19 seconds back to Dusty Fossil. So to be fair to Jordan, he might still end up P2 here. So it's not as crazy a strategy as I thought.
Oh, it's always the what if questions though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Brad hasn't made his weekly mistake yet, and this scares me.
We've still got 6 laps.
This is true.
I know Witchell, but at the same time, you think about it, he's on old tyres. He's got 19 seconds behind. Realistically, it was always going to happen. So why not save his tyres and his fuel and just concentrate on getting that P2 and take it to next week, where it's a sprint week, where it's more likely that he can take the fight to him. Dusty Fossil in a very solid, if solitude, Lille. That's a word. P3.
Interestingly, Odon pitted on lap 23, and he's just pitted again. 2 laps later.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed his tyre. I think he's put a bit more fuel in.
He was a little bit shy. So that battle for. I just need to put a tenner in.
The price per litre is too expensive here at Interlagos.
No, one more week of GT3.
Yes, they are a week behind, aren't they? Due to a Pearson issue.
Yeah, I mean, we'd still be on this race this week. This is just week 9, isn't it? Obviously, week 10 is the grand final week in GT1, obviously.
Yeah.
This is the penultimate week. So, as obviously tomorrow and Friday, it's the penultimate week and the final week for the regular season of GT2 and GT1. The teams to qualify for the grand final. Of course, the individual drivers' championships have both been wrapped up. And of course, Graham has claimed the Pro-Am category title in GT1 as well. So, congratulations, Graham. And as Joker nudged to earlier, we still have one title to be decided in GT2, and that is the Pro-Am category, where we've got Joker, Dusty Fossil, and who's the one? Is it Marley?
Marley, I believe.
Is it Marley going?
I believe it is Marley, yes.
Yeah, so we've got 3 drivers then, tied on points. Tied on points going into the final week.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near it.
Hashtag support your friendly neighbourhood Joker. Oh! Jordan spun!
Oh no.
Coming up there at a very weird place as well. He's still got 14 seconds, so that gap's going to be coming down then. So Dusty Fossil's coming around to this point. So let's see what that gap's come down to. Down 9, 8, 7 seconds. That's giving away about 8 seconds there. That's a big time loss there from Jordan. It's going to settle at about 6 seconds here. Dusty Fossil can see the man he's chasing.
And as Witchell alluded to earlier, the chase is on. Interesting. I think Owen's going to be absolutely fuming at himself here, Odon. What a silly mistake. I mean, to have a mistake and still come out behind Goose. Forgot to put fuel in.
Interestingly, Face Potter's put himself quite nicely in P5. So he's been running kind of off the back of that group earlier, but his strategy's come back to him now. He's on the soft tyres, so is Zombie. And they're now, yeah, so like Pixie, so's Matman. So yeah, those guys are now battling quite over the P4 because Dusty Fossil is 11 seconds down the road. That was saying those hard tyres look a bit done. Yeah, that front left tyre is front right tyre, sorry, is looking a bit second hand. He's got 4 more laps to do. He's got 4 seconds in hand, so he can afford to lose a second a lap to Dusty Fossil. He's doing 35s. Dusty Fossil doing 33s, so I think Dusty Fossil might get there. Of course, won't score points though, so it doesn't really matter to Jordan too much if Dusty Fossil does beat him. I'm just trimming in his new rig still, helping out with the.
No, it's just. I do think that Jordan needs 16 seconds now. The gap between him and Brad is ridiculous.
Spin contributed to at least 8 seconds of that.
Yeah, there's a clear gap difference of pace between the leader 2 and the pack. But it's with Jordan not been there this season, this would have been an easy walk for Brad. He's driven really well this season, so it's still really interesting to see where the rest of the field fight for. But I think Odong has got away with his 10th position because of Saguz's mistake, so he might still hold on to the 3rd position here in the championship.
Let's have a gap. So Goose and Jesus are mediums. He's on the soft tyre, so he's closing. Just on the 32.4. 33.9, so he is closing at a rate that would get him close to the 2 ahead of him by the end of the race, but might need a bit of a mistake. But yeah, interesting strategy call from Jesus tonight. I'm not quite sure that one's paid off for him.
No, I don't think the mistake as well at turn 4 on lap 1 really helped him anyway.
So the battle's at the minute, so Dusty Fossil is catching Jordan very quickly now. Jordan's front right tyre is looking very second hand, considering he's still got 3 laps to do on it. Still got 10 seconds behind him, so even if the tyre does drop off the cliff, there'll be some ask for Zombie to get there, but with all these long left-hand corners, it's not out of the realms of possibility.
And you can even see the braking, stopping power as well that the different tyres have. It's really coming into play now. That's what, 5 seconds in 2 laps.
Yep. Now, don't know if he's listening a lot, but Jordan, you can let Dusty Fossil go. He's not scoring points, so this will not affect your championship position. You don't need to fight this one too hard. Yeah, struggling there. I mean, this is one of the corners where he's not working that front right tyre, he's working the front left, but still just struggling to get that car around. Dusty Fossil all over them. At least it's just about tyres like clear to. Absolutely, I did a stint last night. Oh my god, the medium tyres last about 6 laps at a push, if you're pushing. So it's going to be a race of many pit stops on Friday.
Well, that always makes it for a more interesting race, doesn't it?
Yes, indeed.
I do believe it shall be means like on comms as well, though.
Oh, wunderbar. So the battle for P4 is probably about to split up slightly. Face Potter has got himself a half-second penalty, and that will drop him back towards the battle between Alex Pixie and Matman for P6. Flash of the lights there for Alex, but he's keeping Matman at arm's length in this stint. So Zeus, everyone's got that guy down to 3.7 seconds, so he is closing still. I think he's going to run out of laps.
Interestingly, FaZe Potter had a half-second penalty and has somehow not lost time to Zombie.
Interestingly, well, Dusty Fossil has gone through. Jordan now has the extra worry of being on the red light, on the flashing light of fuel. Now that could be anywhere between 1.3 and 2.3 laps, depending on what the R screen looks.
Pointed it out.
I think he's okay.
Well. Zeus is the same.
I think it's okay. I think he's got enough fuel there to do 2 laps. I think it's just showing on our screen as being
big
on the
red
limit, but I think
big red flashy lighty.
Big flashing light, yeah. Well, Brad, on his way to a very, very comfortable victory. 22 seconds is his lead. He has played the strategy game perfectly. Jordan's lead is now down to 7 seconds over Zombie, but only 1.5 laps to go, so not dropping too much time, or not dropping enough time that Zombie's going to get him, as long as he manages to keep it pointing the right way this time.
No, and interestingly, Owen's now 1.4 seconds. 3. It's closing very, very quickly here on Jesus.
Quickly hunting down Jesus, isn't he? So that P9 might be there. Was Ace a bit of a slide as well. Odon's there.
He really needs this to make sure that he solidifies that P3. Don't know if as it stands Zombie will jump. I think it won't because of how many they've missed. It's be a good result for Face Potter though, and the Dynaco boys to potentially jump the Tango Ice Fast lads.
He's got the run up the hill. He's down the inside. There he goes. So it takes P9 then as they come round to start the final lap. Jesus can fight back. Tango boys are taking inspiration from Goy with the fuel. Thinking back to what Nürburgring race a little bit earlier in the season. But this man has been relatively untroubled since the early part of the race. Jordan ran him close for a few laps, but since he's hit the front, he has been untouchable. It was a double sprint victory last week. This week it is an emphatic endurance victory. Bradley then is your round 8 winner at Interlagos. Congratulations to him. Zombie's just 2.5 seconds back from Jordan. Another lap, and it might have been enough, but Dusty Fossil, meanwhile, heads up the hill. He's going to prevail there. Great job from him. He is a long way back from Brad, but still a really good drive there for P2. Jordan's going to hold on by less than 2 seconds. I'll be chasing him down hard, but Jordan holds on. It's P3 for him. Zombie gets P4. Face Potter gets P5. Good job from him. Alex Pixie gets P6. Batman comes home P7. So Goose will be kicking himself for clicking a button too quickly, and then he has to make an extra stop for some fuel. But it should have been a lot better for him than P8. Odon then has pulled clear in this final lap. He will cross the line in P9. Jesus there.
The last man. Strategy is what I would say with this.
Yeah, I'm saying you nearly raised at the beginning, but please get going. Well done. Yeah, keep your head down. Anything that can happen, it does come back to you. And there we go then. After 32 laps then, Bradley is your winner. May have lost out on pole position, but he gets the fastest lap and the race win. Dusty Fossil coming home in P2. Jordan in P3 in the end. It's an interesting strategy call there from him. Went something different. Fair play to him. He tried something a little bit different. It didn't work out for him. Ends up 30 seconds back in the end.
He just said last time I ever do a one stop.
It's probably a good call. Zombie comes home P4. Face Potter P5. Solid job from him. Alex Pixie is P6. He forgot his wallet, so he had to go back round to grab some more fuel. Alex Pixie. Matt and P7. So Goose P8 after also forgetting his wallet, having to make another pit stop. Odon in P9 and Azus in P10 then. So that is the penultimate week done. Next week then is the final week for GT3, and it is a double header sprint week from Watkins Glen. And I believe, is it the short version or is it the long track? I can't remember.
I can double check that for you immediately.
What does it say? I can't remember.
It is short. Sprint,
short.
22 lap each.
It's short then, so very fun circuits. Watkins Glen. The short version should provide us with some very close and exciting racing. So a exciting finale ahead of us, and Brad has the advantage. But anything can happen. So please do join us for that. We are back, of course, tomorrow with the final round of the regular season for GT2, and they are at St. Croix B. And how are you feeling? Oh, you're not even here this week, are you?
I am not. Unfortunately, I've had to this season balance between Villa's first European season and FTRL, and I've missed 3, I think. But Arsenal will be filling in for me. It's a tough track.
It's long,
but
it's difficult to learn, isn't it? Because it's a weird one. I feel like it was like they've got several ideas for circus and just kind of stuck them all together.
Yeah, it is a big mishmash, isn't it? Really,
Yeah,
but
it's a bit of a
it'll be an
patchwork
interesting
sort of
one,
thing.
and good luck to all the GT2 boys, especially the Pro-Am category. I hope it all is well for you all, and I'll be watching whilst at the Villa.
Indeed, and so yeah, please do join me for that tomorrow night, and that is the final endurance race of the GT2 season. Of course, two chances for the teams to qualify for the grand final, which is next week. Of course, GT1 back on Friday then with our final endurance race of the season, and we are at Kyoto, and it's the long Yamagiwa and Miyabi circuit. So yeah, the full one there. So join us for that on Friday. But yeah, thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, James. And yeah, so from us, thank you very much for all those in the stream. If you haven't really liked the stream, please do so before you go. Derek's St. Croix rules, so I'm expecting big things from you now, Derek. Then. Had a good rate last week. I expect to see you follow that up with a strong result tomorrow. Then, yep. So the final round of the regular season for GT2 tomorrow. The teams qualifying or trying to qualify for the grand final next week. So please join us for that. But from us for this evening, thank you for watching. Like the stream. Thanks for the comments. See you. Bye.